All right, man, peace. So, brothers, this is going to be another entry into the series, Should Men Fall in Love? And this entry will be starring Mr. Jermaine Jones, one of the higher profile members of the U.S. national soccer team. And as we're going to watch over the course of this story, it's going to show many aspects of what befalls men when they decide not just to engage in a healthy relationship with a woman, but when they decide to give their soul over, their spirit over unto that woman and set her up as an idol. When she almost unerringly decides to eventually give in to her essential nature, that being to be capricious and whimsical, the man is unable to keep it together because he actually subscribed to the notion, the fantasy world, that the woman was trying to sell him through her Disney programming. And so many males in America today, not just in America, but all across the world, also are strategically taught, if not imbued with, that same Disney programming. The little girls are raised to believe that they're princesses. The little boys are raised to believe that they should be Prince Charmings and white knights and sweep women off of their feet, as opposed to dealing with them according to merit, meaning what they bring to the table, what attributes, what characteristics do they show you to establish to you how you should be dealing with this person, how you should be interacting with this person. That's why it's so essential for so many of you brothers to understand the difference between a concubine and a wife. Once again, a wife is not who you're going to sign a contract with. A wife is a person who's going to hold you down because you're doing what you're supposed to do. Meaning what? Number one, you put the Most High first. Number one, you make sure that you can provide for yourself. Number three, you make sure that you have knowledge and wisdom that you live your life according to and that you can also instruct the woman with. Those are the three main parameters that you have to make sure are at the forefront of your mind. And that's going to establish that you can carry on a healthy relationship with the female that you're dealing with. Because once again, we're living in Babylon. And almost all of these women are Babylonian in nature. When I say Babylonian in nature, I'm not talking about race. I'm talking about culture. What they embrace are Babylonian thought processes and ideologies like feminism, like globalism, like platonic male friendships, all things that are going to add a great deal of chaos and entropy into your so-called relationship eventually. And you have to understand that, because if you don't understand that, you're basically going to be like a person driving at night with no headlights. Eventually, I promise you, you're going to crash. So anyway, they're going to talk about it and I'm going to chime in.
Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Evan here with Van Lathan.
Yes.
Michael J. Babcock.
What's up?
One of the biggest stars in the history of Team USA soccer, Jermaine Jones. You remember this guy?
Yeah, one of our longest tenured guys. He's a big dude.
Yeah, he in 2014.
Look at him. He also is wearing the number 13. So it's highly possible, I'm not going to say probable, but it's highly possible that he himself is a Monarch asset. Who knows, maybe he was hooked up with that so-called wife of his and she could be his handler. And she decided that she was going to do what she wanted. Who knows? Just throwing that out there. But once again, the focus of this video is that a man is not supposed to be falling in love with a woman. You love your woman, but you don't fall in love with her. And the woman, once again, is on lifetime probation. You have to understand that, okay? I cannot stress that enough. The woman is on lifetime probation. As are you. As am I. Every day we have to be trying to seek out some level of understanding pertaining to where we are in life, the type of decisions that we're making, and whether or not they're putting us in an advantageous position or whether or not they're setting us at a deficit in some way or some sort. Every day, man. We have to evaluate ourselves every day. The scriptures tell us to examine ourselves every day, especially in Babylon, man. I cannot stress that enough, because if you don't, you're going to get caught unawares and you're going to end up having a nervous and mental breakdown, and it's not going to end well for you.
14, played for Team USA in the World Cup, scored a goal, became like a national celebrity. He's a big star. He's been living out in California. He's married. He's got a couple of kids with this woman named Sarah. They separated, though, about 2 months ago. And
now look at his woman. Just as an aside, it has nothing to do with the story, of course. His woman highly favors that actress from back in the day, Minnie Driver. For those of you brothers who remember, I believe she was in Good Will Hunting. She played Matt Damon's so-called significant other, or the object of his attraction. And I believe they had a very short-lived relationship outside of that film. Her career never took off, most likely because she was unwilling to perform certain rituals. But just getting back to the point, This woman highly favors that actress from back in the day.
And Jermaine Jones is blaming the split on David Charvet. He had been putting some nasty messages on social media, calling David Charvet.
Now look at these two guys here. They're laughing. This is a very serious situation. This person, David Charvet, is messing with the woman of a man who clearly is in love with that woman. Whenever you do something like that, you're putting your life on the line. Why is that? Because that man has set the woman up as an idol. He set his family up as an idol. And of course, we're going to have a very strong emotional attachment to our families, no matter where we're at. But once again, in Babylon, you have to understand that there are no provisions for the man to maintain what he thinks is his. You own nothing here. All right? I'm especially talking to you, so-called black man. You own nothing in this kingdom. This Babylonian society, you own nothing. Everything can be gone tomorrow. All right? You can have a wife, 3 kids, a dog, a house, and all that could be gone tomorrow if this bro wakes up and decides she just don't like you anymore. It's very important for you to grasp that, because that is how you're going to maintain yourself should this situation befall you.
Survey the devil and claiming that he basically homewrecked his marriage and slept with his wife. David Charvet.
Let me rewind this back a little bit.
Charvet has now on David Charvet. He had been putting some nasty messages on social media, calling David Charvet the devil and claiming that he basically homewrecked his marriage. And
now the brother Jermaine Jones is calling this actor David Charvet the quote-unquote devil. What is that an allusion to? He subconsciously believed that he was Adam and his wife was Eve. And David Charvet, as the devil, stepped in and caused confusion and beguiled his woman. I have news for you, Jermaine Jones. Your woman most likely had a roving eye the whole time.
Jen slept with his wife. David Charvet has now filed legal papers claiming that Jermaine Jones has been stalking him and threatening him, and even sent him a photo of an AR-15 gun.
You know what that means? You know what that means, David Charvet? It does not mean necessarily that he's going to kill you. It just means that if he had the power to do so and get away with it, he would. And he would not hesitate, and he would not regret it.
Because he's so mad. And now David Jermaine, who's a fantastic actor, says this is not made up. I'm really truly scared for my life. This is a crazy situation.
Of course you're scared for your life, because you know that you have bad karma because of what you did. Brothers, once again, and you're going to come across situations where there are very attractive females that try to hit on you and they have a man. It's not worth it. Leave it alone. Send that woman back to her man. That's why even on this channel, I get these females that jump in the comments trying to clickety-clack all day. The first thing that I ask them is, what does your man think about your opinions? What does your man have to say about what you think about life? And almost unerringly, the female will say, oh, well, yeah, he likes this or he likes that or blah, blah, blah. Most of these women don't have a man, but they don't want to admit that they don't have a man on the internet because it makes them look lonely and miserable, which sometimes they are. Which oftentimes they are. It is what it is. The point being is this: we have to get back to accentuating that the woman have intimate conversations with her man, as opposed to trying to spread her little low-level ideologies all over the internet. So many random females today believe that they deserve the right to engage in an interaction with strange men on the internet. And then they wonder why their personal lives are in shambles. When you put more of the onus on the woman to spend more time having serious conversations with her man, you help yourself, you help that man, and you help her all at the same damn time. And I'm going to be very real with you right now. I see many cats, many so-called pro-blackity black dudes who embrace various ideologies. A lot of them are even in the knowledge, who love to go back and forth with the women on the internet. Yeah, sister, you're so special, sister. Do you have anybody else in your family like you? Do you have a man? You're so chocolatey beautiful, blah, blah, blah. The first thing that you should be asking that woman is if she has a man. And I'm going to hit you with something, brothers. A lot of you guys who are thirsty. That same woman who is so eager to spread her vain opinion on the internet, after she gets bored with you, she's going to be very eager to levy a lot of insults your way. All right? A wife type woman understands that there are limits to what she says in public and on the internet and what she spreads abroad. Because if she's willing to spread her mouth, she's most likely willing to spread her legs as well.
It is a crazy situation. I'm wondering why Jermaine Jones is going so public with this.
Because he's upset and he's looking for public sympathy. He's looking for society at large to try to shame his wife into coming back to him. He's looking for the public to attack David Charvet because he's so frustrated. He feels like if the public does not do something, he's going to do something. That's why he's going public, Van Lathan.
The fact that he is so upset publicly, I don't know what really happened with the harassment and stuff like that, but it makes it more believable that he might be doing crazy stuff.
No shit. Of course he's doing crazy stuff. The first crazy thing that he did was allow himself to fall in love with a woman. Once again, brothers, you love your woman. And after you prove her over a period of time and your bond builds, of course, the regard that you have for her grows higher and higher and higher. She builds up greater and greater equity. Just like when you start a job, they put you on a probationary period. And as you show proficiency at your task, they give you more and more to do. And eventually they give you, or at least hopefully, they give you promotion upon promotion upon promotion, more money, more money, more money, and also more responsibilities. It's the same thing in your relationship. You have to test that woman over a period of time. You have to see, how does she conduct herself in moments of adversity? How does she treat you when she's upset with you? Does she stay upset forever? Does she get verbally abusive? Does she dare to try to put her hands on you? All these things, so-called black men especially, have been taught to tolerate in this society. It's okay for a woman to hit a man. No, it's not. It's not okay for anybody to put their hands on anybody. And once again, brothers, a woman will show you if she's verbally abusive very early in a relationship. You have these guys that have been with a broad for 10, 12, 15 years, taking all type of shit. Makes no damn sense. Those are the guys that end up snapping. You read about them in the newspaper, killing the wife, the kids, the dog, every damn body. And it's ridiculous, man. You have to put the Most High first, and then everything else is going to set itself in proper order.
David Charvet insists that he's not banging Jermaine Jones' wife. He's like, look, man.
Of course, because he's embarrassed. And he knows that he gains nothing by publicly confirming this.
Man, Jermaine, in these documents, he filed for a restraining order, which he got against Jermaine Jones, by the way.
Yeah, because he's scared for his life. That man Jermaine Jones going to kick his head like a soccer ball.
In these documents, he said, look, Jermaine Jones thinks I slept with his wife. I didn't do that. I'm friends with her, but we're not banging each other.
What does that really mean? I'm friends with her, but we're not banging each other. You really expect me to believe that Jermaine Jones sent you a photograph of an AR-15 and he does not already have confirmation that you fucked this woman? Come on, man.
But he's so mad. He's been texting me. He's tried to show up to my home. He sent me photos of an AR-15 gun.
And let me correct myself. I can't say that Jermaine Jones has confirmation that David Charvet fucked his woman. Because if she was his woman, she would not have spread her legs for David Charvet. I believe that Jermaine Jones has confirmation that David Charvet fucked the mother of his children. All right, that's the only thing that we know for a fact she is.
The wife, Sarah Jones, went and checked on the gun. Apparently, it wasn't just a random picture of a gun.
Yeah, she went to check on the gun because she's worried that she's going to catch a bullet also. That's what she's worried about.
Gun. Jermaine actually has this gun, and when she went to the home to check up on it, it was unlocked, which is super scary for David Charvet because it makes things...
It's quote-unquote scary for David Charvet. It's also scary for her as well, because she knows there's a possibility that she can catch a hot slug also. Don't get it twisted. Once again, brothers, I can't put enough onus on this, man. When you deal with these women, you have to take your time. You have to be with a woman for a long period of time before you even consider taking her seriously on that level where you look at her as wife material. I'm talking about 3 years, 5 years. Even if a woman shows that she has that potential, and you might call her a wife material woman, there's different levels, there's grades to it. And when she starts to show you who she really is, do not hesitate to move on. Because oftentimes things do not get better, they get worse. A lot of these people, they have a lot of baggage because they adhere to Luciferian principles. They might not even be aware of it. All right? It's very important that you do a lot of inspection on the person that you're with, their background, their beliefs, their thoughts. Yes, a fat ass, big titties is wonderful. Nice lips, great, beautiful. But at the end of the day, how does she conduct herself towards you? Because she has to view you as her head. If she can't respect you as her head and she decides I'm going to have male friends here and there, that's a red flag, man. And I have to get back to that series. Can men and women be friends? The answer is hell no. All right? Hell no. Unless it's some dude that she knew all the way back from elementary school, you can't control that. But you ain't meet no male friend at 30 years old, 35 years old. That's bullshit. All right? That's somebody that you have. That's some dick in the glass that you have. So you brothers better understand that. Once a broad tell you that she has male friends, that's nothing but a concubine.
It's even more real.
Yeah, I mean, if you're David Charvet, you really got to be looking over your shoulder at this point, man. This is so...
Yeah, you better be. You better be looking over your shoulder, your right shoulder, your left shoulder, you know, in front of you, to the side. You better watch yourself. Because this Jermaine Jones, this dude is... He's like the Terminator. He can't be reasoned with. He can't be bargained with.
So weird. It's such a weird story.
Crazy story.
It's such a weird story. David Charvet...
There's nothing weird about it. Once you understand the psychology of a dude that's in love, it's very easy for you to grasp why things are transpiring how they are. This person, Jermaine Jones, he needs somebody to talk to him and help him understand where he is at this point in his life. Life is like chapters in a book. Once a certain chapter is starting to end, you have to understand it and accept it. In Babylon, your book is about chapters. We're not living in a society where the woman is given to you by her father and it's a binding contract and you have control over the relationship, and the woman has to deal with consequences and repercussions for her missteps or her misdeeds. In this society, they can do what they want. And if you chose to sign a contract with the woman, basically you sign an imaginary contract. You signed something that made you think that that woman was yours, and that made her think that she finally found a man who was going to make her a quote-unquote queen. And if she's a queen, a queen is something, or a king is something that's inside of you. It's not based on a contract.
I never thought David Charvet was America's hero at one point. Wasn't he married to Brooke Burke or something like that?
Yeah, they're still married. They're separating right now. So Jermaine Jones...
Yeah, they're separated right now. Just like David Charvet is separating the coochie lips of Jermaine Jones' wife. And Brooke Burke, she used to be that chick back in the day. I know all y'all brothers in my age group remember Brooke Burke. She was a bad chick back in the late 90s. David Charvet snagged that. I guess he's tired of that, so now he wants Jermaine Jones' woman. A lot of these dudes, these playboys, they get divorced from their wife in Hollywood, and they just start messing with another man's wife because they don't want to jump into another commitment. So they say, I'll mess with this dude's wife because I already know that she's in a committed relationship, so she ain't gonna stress me for a commitment.
I was like, oh, you're getting, ending your marriage because you want to hook up with other people. He said that, like, David Charvet...
And I could see David Charvet step into this man's wife. He got that old man swag.
The quote on social media was, "You killed my family," he wrote. I mean...
Oh, my goodness. The man said, you killed my family. When you see somebody use terminology like, kill my family, that's his way of implying, now I have to, quote-unquote, kill you. Now, if I was him, I would have a DNA test performed on all 4 of those kids, because all 4 of those kids look different from one another.
Man, this is awful stuff.
Assuming that all 4 of those children are theirs. Who knows, maybe a couple of them are cousins or what have you.
It's very awful stuff, and it's the kind of things that guys say that can make them desperate and make them do it. If I was Charvet, I would be scared too, man.
Man, Jermaine Jones...
You wasn't scared dipping that pussy?
Jones...
Don't be scared now. Shit, Jermaine Jones said, you know what? Just like you had her titty in your mouth, you're going to have the nozzle of this gun in your mouth. All right? Open wide.
Jones has always been cool with us, by the way. Every time we get him on the street, super cool. And David Charvet's always been super nice, too. I feel like this...
I bet you my man, he just took that picture after he found out David Charvet was fucking this woman. Look, he got his hat down and everything.
We should be friends.
I love how we're...
I feel like maybe we shouldn't get involved in this.
I wonder what my man listening to in the earphones. Probably Biggie Smalls, you're nobody till somebody kills you.
I love how we're putting all of these pictures up of David Charvet smiling, and then now Jermaine Jones. Every picture we put up of Jermaine Jones, man. Every single picture.
Anywhere he's
we have one smiling Jermaine Jones picture.
No,
he's smiling because he's with his wife, and they're not together anymore.
Before she got out by David Charvet.
Not true, according to David Charvet.
Bullshit. David Charvet hit that, man. He hit that 6 ways to Sunday.
Hey, watch your tone, or he'll come after you with an AR-15.
Okay, now this is going to be the continuation of the Jermaine Jones, David Charvet, quote-unquote adultery storyline. aka Should Men Fall in Love.
Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Evan here with Van Lathan.
Yes.
And Michael Babcock, who just got caught texting on his phone.
Texting on his phone.
Doing work. No, you're very important.
Breaking stories.
You remember Jermaine Jones from Team USA?
Yes, I do remember him.
Back when America used to compete in the World Cup?
Right. Back when Michael
used to
Babcock
compete.
was a loser in high school.
He was a stud. He scored a goal in the 2014 World Cup. He was a key player on that team. He was a stud, one of the best American soccer players there is. And also, he's now accused of threatening to, at least David Charvet thinks that he's threatening to kill him.
David Charvet is scared.
He's scared.
He says this guy is dangerous.
Yeah.
This guy thinks that he banged David Charvet's wife.
Yeah.
And David Charvet...
No, Jermaine Jones does not think that David Charvet banged his wife. He knows it already. I said this a very long time ago. But a lot of these married dudes trying to figure out how come they ain't getting no ass from their wife is because she's done used up all her coochie juices on the other guy. That's why David Charvet is chilling right now.
Charvet is upset.
No. Jermaine thinks that David Charvet
Banged his wife. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
Jermaine Jones and his
David
wife
Charvet.
have recently separated, and he thinks that David Charvet is the reason why. David Charvet is adamant, I did not sleep with your wife,
Yeah.
but still, David
Ooh,
Charvet
by the way, yeah, baby. What's going on right
attractive
there?
lady.
I know Babcock doesn't like it, but most of the rest of us
No, I
she's
do.
attractive lady.
I do like it.
So,
So, no tattoos.
back to the story. So, David Charvet says that Jermaine Jones, for some crazy reason, thinks that he slept with his wife. So, and he accuses Jermaine of sending him photos of automatic weapons, threatening text messages saying, I'm going to do stuff to you. Tried to get to his house one night. So he went to court and he filed for a restraining order, and they've been duking it out in court now. And on the way out of court yesterday, we spoke with David Charvet's lawyer and said, does he really think Jermaine Jones is dangerous? And this is what Jacob Glucksman had to say.
Well, what would you think if a man was sending you a photo of an AR-15? Of course, you would think that there's some potential of him running up on you and trying to fill your ass with holes, man. I mean, come on. You better go get a restraining order. You better go through the proper channels. I mean, either you're going to go through the proper channels that way, or you're going to handle it yourself. And David Charvet has way too much to lose to even be thinking on that level.
Does David believe that Jermaine is a dangerous man?
He does.
And what is he worried about? What is his concern with David, with Jermaine?
He's very...
That Jermaine is going to take a pound of flesh out of his ass. That's what he's worried about. He's worried that Jermaine is going to execute a soccer kick right in the crack of his ass.
Very concerned about the potential of Jermaine doing harm to him, causing harm, doing physical injury to him, based on the allegations and based on what's happened in this case.
Can you believe this? David Charvet is afraid of Jermaine Jones, man.
I know, listen, I know some guys like Babcock who are afraid of their own shadows.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, they really don't, anticipate or really pay enough attention.
Anyway, these fools, they're playing games with this topic as usual. That's normally what simps do. They sit around and they try to mock what's going on in the lives of some of these males in Western, i.e. Babylonian society, who try to make things work according to that dream state that they've been convinced is real. Once we understand what real is, then we can operate in a way where we can avoid putting ourselves in these situations, in these conditions. Once again, the woman is beautiful, but she is bugged out of her fucking mind in this society. And when you decide to follow her like she's a white rabbit down that hole into Oz or Neverland or whatever that dream state is, that disassociative state, you are going to have to pay the piper, because you divest all control over your own life once you follow them down that rabbit hole.
To things that are harmless.
Right.
In this case, though, I think that David Charvet actually believes this. I think the guns and
You guys believe it also, as we saw from the last episode, but you guys are here playing games.
the whole
David
white
Charvet
thing.
says
David
that.
Charvet, what show is he on? Is he on Bones?
He was on Baywatch.
He was on
man.
Baywatch.
Is he on Bones or is that a different guy?
That's David Boreanaz.
Oh, I got my
Both
David
David.
confused.
Yeah.
Wait, but David Charvet says that Jermaine Jones sent pictures of an assault rifle.
Yeah.
So if someone sends pictures of a gun that's a killing machine, like,
You don't take chances with that.
Nah.
Nah, you gotta do something.
Of course you don't take chances, but that's Jermaine Jones' way of showing his anger and his frustration, because he really wants to kill him, but he can't. So he's holding it together to that degree where he understands that he can't make that last ditch move, but you never know. The next push might be the one that sends him over the cliff. So David Charvet, You better keep your Baywatch rod out of his wife's vagina, at least for now.
Because the next thing is not pictures, it's bullets. That's the next thing they send at you.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah,
Presumably, yeah.
Look, I hope that this can be resolved peacefully without anybody fighting anybody.
I hope so too.
Right, or shooting.
Yeah, but
A fight might not be that bad.
and also like
Yeah, I would watch a fight.
David
We don't
Jermaine
watch-
hasn't done anything since Baywatch, really.
I mean, I don't know.
He's probably done
Look
stuff.
this
I'm trying to look it up right now.
Van, what have you learned?
I've learned that he hasn't done much since Baywatch. Back in 2013, he did Prisoners of the Sun, which is a Prince movie. He does a lot of work over in
Was that
France.
with Bruce Willis?
He's also a singer. No,
A singer?
that wasn't with Bruce Willis. You don't know what the hell you're
Tears
talking
of the
about.
Sun. Yeah, Van is taking a couple shots at me because I got to in the beginning of the show anyway.
Right.
But Van said he was a model.
Anyway, the
What
reality
model
is
is
that
46 years old.
46-year-old models that have good skin don't have all
He's
kinds of
got good
acne and
singing.
stuff
You know
like
what though?
that.
I think David Boreanaz is the better David.
I think David Boreanaz is definitely the better
It's a good
David.
show.
Man. Both got clear skin.
But brothers, that's basically it on that. And for those of you who are attentive, who notice exactly what's going on when it comes to the dynamics of this society, relationship-wise and just life-wise, you'll see that many of the themes that I touch on, they tend to intersect. Like, can a man and woman be friends? Should men fall in love? Are you ready for marriage? Are you dating a liberal woman? They're all basically branches on the same tree. So once you get a greater understanding of that, you'll be able to avoid a lot of this nonsense. But once again, you deal with these women according to how they conduct themselves, but you have to hover above it. You can't be dealing with the woman eye to eye. Of course, when you're dealing with them, it's going to appear as if you're dealing with them eye to eye, but you also have to hover above the relationship and be able to look down upon it to understand what exactly is transpiring here. Is it healthy or is it harmful? And what direction is this going in? This is all before you consider marriage or what have you. If you decide that you're going to engage in a contractual obligation with the woman, that's your business. But you have to understand the pitfalls. You also have to understand that when they decide to unplug, it's not going to matter to them about the collateral damage. All right? So peace.